Hey, human family, how are you? It's Darren. You guys, today I want to talk about something that's quite simplistic, but yet very difficult to grasp. And that is this thing called fear. One of the things that you may have noticed while dealing with a narcissist and being in a relationship with one of these people is that you start to become afraid of everything. You start to become timid over time. It can happen. It happens gradually. But you wake up one day and you find that most things in life are unnerving, that you're really afraid of living. Why does this happen? There is an answer, and there's also a way out. So if becoming fully alive again sounds good to you and you get some value out of today's show, please hit the like button and subscribe. And let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after this years.
Fear is one of the greatest problems in life. A mind that is caught in fear lives in confusion, in conflict, and therefore must be distorted, aggressive, and even violent. Fear prevents us from thinking. It was once said by the great philosopher Krishnamurti, until we are free from fear, we may climb the highest mountains, invent every kind of God, invent every kind of invention, but we will remain in darkness. Powerful stuff. Being in a relationship with the narcissist is a manufacturing by the minute of fear. If you could use one term, one word to explain a relationship with a narcissist, fear would have to be in the top 3, if not number 1. It is a generation of fear. It never stops. Do you know why? Because that is the number 1 problem that a narcissist face is fear. Fear of being found out. Fear of failing. Fear of being exposed is a constant in their lives. It comes forth with every heartbeat of a narcissist. And what does a narcissist do? They project. So if they're just one big bundle of fear, what do you think is being injected into our subconscious mind, into our nervous system? Fear. And this is done covertly. I think to some degree, it's even vibratic. We human beings are somewhat like a flock of seagulls. We feel each other's vibration to a certain degree. And a lot of this seeps in to our own energy field. This fear that encompasses a narcissist 24/7 is constantly being projected onto us in a myriad of different ways. So just imagine, you guys, just how difficult it is to figure out our own lot in life, to manage our own emotions, to govern our own attitudes and perceptions and illnesses and neurotic thinking. Now couple that with someone else's, and someone who is mentally distorted, who comes from a completely different energy field. And they are constantly projecting that fear into us. This can leave us in a state of constant fear and anxiety and never really understanding why. The way that my father, my grandfather, the men in my life, who I was very close to, all of them, the way that they raised me was to be fearless. And for the vast majority of my life, even having a narcissistic mother and narcissists all around me, that's the way that I rolled. But after 23 years married to a covert narcissist, by the end of that marriage, I was a very timid person. And that was so bizarre to me. How did this happen? And it happens from the projection on a daily basis. A little poison every day adds up, of taking on her fears. It is impossible to be in a relationship with a narcissist and not have them project fear into you. This is a 100% guarantee. So the good news is all of that fear and timidness that you may be feeling right now is not yours. And you can get rid of it. The first way of depleting and purging this massive amount of fear that exists in us is to understand it and become aware of it. And become aware of it, you can look at it like this. Imagine somebody borrowing your garage and putting a bunch of toxic chemicals in it. And the toxic chemicals start to seep into your house, and you're like, hey, you got to come and get these barrels out of my garage. And they take the barrels away, and there's no more toxicity seeping into your home. This is the same way with the fear that was installed into us. The narcissist is using you as an emotional storage place, a dumping ground for toxic thoughts, negative feelings. We become a toxic dumping ground from them. We are their storage garage. Once you become aware of this, you can start to take their chemicals, their toxic chemicals, out of your garage, which is called our head. How do you do this? Accepting that it's there and saying to yourself on a daily basis when fear starts to seep in, or any other type of neurotic thought and emotion, that you are no longer welcome here. This door is closed. You talk to that toxic voice inside of your head, that toxic critic that's always telling you how fearful the world is, how you're constantly in danger. You face that head on and have an argument with them and tell them to get out of your head in your life. You have a toxic energy source, a toxic person that has been implanted into your mind. And the only way, well, I shouldn't say the only way, one of the ways to remove this is to communicate to it that you're no longer welcome, and to get as aggressive to it as you would if it was somebody on the outside world talking to you that way. And just say to yourself the Helen Keller statement, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. I'm taking on the adventure. Shut up and leave me alone, to that fearful voice that's in your head. The more that you communicate to it, the more you become aware of it. The more you challenge it, the more you start to defeat it. Its weakness. Narcissists are very weak people. I know it seems like on the contrary because they got the jump on us. But trust me, These are very fragile, weak people. And they are projecting all of that stuff into us. Once it's there, you have to deal with it. Once you have the flu, it doesn't matter who gave it to you. You have to remedy yourself and get yourself healed. You have to do what's necessary to get it out of you. We don't have enough time in the day to change anyone. I mean, think about this. Do you have enough time in your day to change someone? Really think about that. Don't just hear it. Let that marinate a little bit. Do you have enough time in your day to change any other adult human being? If you didn't say an absolute no, then you really got a lot of work to do. Of course we don't. Managing and governing ourselves is a massive job. One of the most important things that we can do is start to eliminate the fear that's been injected into us. We human beings, believe it or not, are designed to be fearless by nature, by God. The universal laws that pulsate in our existence has made us to be fearless. That's our DNA. We come into this world with nothing but skin and bones. That brain behind that thick skull has to be fearless to determine its survival, its navigation. And when I say fearless, I don't mean that you don't have any fear, that you are exempt from fear. You have courage to walk through it. You have courage to see it. You have courage to do it anyway when you are afraid. When you are in a relationship with a narcissist, this elementary, although it's very complicated, but it's an elementary circuitry of our nervous system and who we are as a species, it becomes eroded, even blocked or destroyed to a certain degree. The good news is you can get it back. You cannot have a heartbeat as a sentient human being that is not a narcissist and not have the ability to transcend fear, to have huge amounts of courage. Wherever you find a person whose courage is deleted, look for a narcissist. When you find people who are full of anxiety, full of fear, there's a narcissist somewhere in their present or in their past or in both. But God, the universe, this world that He created, gives us the ability to become fully alive again and to transcend the blockage of courage that has been projected into us by the narcissist. Start to use your creativity through your self-talk, through your awareness. Face the fears. Don't run from your own power in your own light. Run to it. Do everything you can to come back to yourself. Be it if that's a coach, a therapist, starting a gym membership, taking on a dance class. Do not allow the narcissist to destroy the best of you. The best days of your life are still ahead of you if you choose to believe it and take action. All right, you guys? And no matter how damaged you are from one of these monsters, always remember, and I mean this from my head to my toes, it is better to be damaged, abused, tricked, and betrayed by a narcissist than to be a narcissist. You're ahead of the game. Use your God-given gifts. Slow down and think. And choose to be powerful and live again. All right, you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I got nothing but love for you. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. Be well.
No tears, no fears, fully alive. alive again after weeks of years.